Hey everyone, and welcome to the first ever Columbia Secondary School STEAM Night. My name is David Collier, and it is such an honor for me to be speaking in regards to engineering, the field that I went into. So pretty much what I'm going to be speaking of tonight is what I do on a day-to-day basis, but also what different programs there are available and some recommendations for college, which I feel could really benefit some people that just, have no idea where to start, and then just kind of how I went through college and what degrees I got, etc. So just giving a little bit of background about myself. I was born and raised in Trumbull, Connecticut. I moved to New York City about 4 years ago. I have been doing gymnastics and cheerleading for about 14 years, and I've been coaching for about 5 years. Some of you may already know me. I work at Columbia Secondary School as the head coach of the competition squad. So I've been doing that for the past 4 years, and then the prior year I was coaching at my college as an assistant coach. Some childhood memories that kind of stick out in my head. I dealt with Legos and Connects a lot. As you can see, if some of you don't know what Connects is, that is Connects. You were given a booklet. You could design all these different building structures, and you can build whatever. But I started going beyond that and designing my own like roller coasters and different buildings. It was very fascinating. I loved working with Connects. I also had a passion for math and science, a huge passion of mine. I was very fascinated by roller coasters, and I tended to break a lot of things. Yeah, no, my mom wasn't very happy about that. So going into high school, I had an idea of what I wanted to do. It was an architect, engineer. I really wasn't sure. They seem pretty similar, as you can see by the picture that I posted for you guys. It kind of tells you the difference between what an architect does and what an engineer does. So really what an architect does is they design what a house is going to look like or what a building is going to look like. And the engineer kind of comes in and says, you can build most of this, but you can't build this because it's not possible. The engineer changes based on, what's feasible. So I was torn between this. I know for an architect, they required a portfolio, which I didn't do. I was never really that abstract of it, like more like an artist. I never really did many paintings. I didn't really do a lot of architectural stuff. I did a class. It was a separate class that my mom put me in. It was me doing architectural designing, like through pencil. It just wasn't my thing. I didn't really like it. I was iffy. I didn't really understand. So I kind of was like, okay, well, what do I do? I have these two fields. How do I decide what to do? So, and that's what brings me to my next point. So teetering back and forth between architecture and engineering, I was like, how do I decide? There is a program that I found out called the ACE Mentor Program. It stands for Architecture, Construction, and Engineering. And this program, basically after school program for high school students that want to explore any of the above mentioned fields that I said, and with the assistance of professionals that you come into contact with. So I've provided the link for you guys. Each region, I know New York City has one or two chapters. There's a coordinator for each chapter. In those chapters, there are about anywhere from 6 to 10 professionals that are architects, engineers, construction managers, you name it. And in these groups, there are a team of 15 to 25 students that apply in. It is application based, just it's kind of like applying to college, same concept. And you apply to this, get in, and what the point of it is that these professionals come in, they give you all these different presentations on what they do, just so you have an understanding of what they do also on a day-to-day basis. But then they give you a project, and the project varies each year. My first year as a junior, they gave me a mall to create out of an old warehouse building in Connecticut, and my second year was to create a ski lodge. And very fascinating. You go through all these different topics with how to create these different projects, and you have the engineers backing you up, and you have the architects and the construction managers trying to like give you advice, and you learn so much. This program is phenomenal. I love it more than anything. And they do, like I said, give out scholarships. So as you can see in that picture, that is me receiving in 2010 a scholarship for stepping up and pretty much taking lead in the group. And these groups consist of about 5 to 6 students, and then you usually have like maybe 1 or 2 mentors that come and help. So it's a great program. I highly suggest anyone get involved in it if you're interested in these fields. College recommendations. These are total recommendations. Not telling you to look at like to do them, but this is what I feel you should do. You want an ABET accredited school. Depending on what specific type of engineering you go for, I know for civil engineering and mechanical, when it comes time, like I'll discuss this later, your FE and your PE exams, it needs to be an ABET accredited school. So that if you're wanting to go into civil or mechanical, it has to be an ABET accredited school. It'll save you a lot of agita down the line. If you're in any other thing, I'm not really sure 100% of what the different, like if they require it to be ABET accredited, but just if you're thinking of civil or mechanical, I think it should be ABET accredited. It's basically this group of professional engineers that come up with these quality standards of what they see a young engineer should be learning to become a competent professional engineer in the future. So also, becoming familiar with Word and Excel. Word, everyone, I feel that you guys already are learning this in high school. If you're not, then become familiar with it. Don't become proficient. No one's expecting you to know all this stuff when you go into college. And Excel is a huge program that I use now. Again, if you haven't used it, that's okay. They will teach it to you in college. Just become familiar if you're able to. I didn't put this on there because times have changed. I mean, I applied to college like 10 years ago, but there is this program called Revit. And in Revit, there is a program called AutoCAD, which is computer-aided drafting design. Now in computer-aided drafting design, it's like old school drafting, but computerized. I use that pretty much every day to do elevation surveys, to do break sheets. It's a very good tool to have. Again, they will teach it to you in college, but if you have the ability to, try and become familiar with it. I know some schools, I looked into it. Unfortunately, your school does not provide an AutoCAD class, but maybe that is something that you guys could get the school involved with. But I personally feel that is a huge tool that could help you in the future. And then again, any college you want to go to, you want to get a scholarship. I got into all my schools, but I went to one that gave me a scholarship.